Okay, so good evening, everyone. We are in the next episode of the Health and Wealth Without Pills series on Brown Essence Limited, the Health. This is Brown Essence Health. And I'm so glad and honored to bring in Mr. Olafimoyo. He is seasoned, he is an amazing accountant. He has gone far and wide, has gotten a lot of his certificates, whatever certificates you're asking or looking for in the accounting sector. He has gone that far to do it. He is disciplined and he has seen a lot of waters under the bridge. So we are honored to have him here. And I know and we are blessed to have you here, sir.
Same here. It's in the pleasure to be here with each and every one of you. Good evening
We're
to you.
very grateful, sir. Yes, sir. So
Thank you.
the topic of today is the unstable and the uncertain kind of topic, the topic that people do not want to talk about, the one that is always at that connote, it's always at the back of everybody's mind, but
Yes,
nobody wants to discuss.
exactly.
Nobody wants to discuss, nobody wants to talk about it. Okay, so our topic today is preparing for the loss of a job. And it's the funniest topic if you ask,
Yeah.
because
It,
it why would I want to be preparing for the loss of a job? Why would I want that? Oh, wow. So, thank you very much. And we were talking about the topic preparing for a job loss. So I would hand it over to you, sir, Mr. Olafin Moyo. What has financially, what has your experience been with, especially from the account end? Because we've come to hear and see a number of people complain about maybe finance, not even maybe, most times finance. How has it been from your end, sir?
okay. Well, I think this year has been I won't say a bad year, everything is trying to bounce back to not normal, but everyone is trying to adjust to the new normal. We're trying to adjust to the rise in price. We're trying to adjust to the new cost of things. Budget is changing. Family budget has changed. What you could literally spend, maybe before you were spending 100,000 to just take care of your family in a month. Now it's like 300,000, 400,000. You're having to think of extra ways of getting, income apart from your 9 to 5 or any other job that you're doing. For those who are in business, you want to think about increasing revenue and all that. And so all those things is what everyone is trying to like get used to now. Same thing for me personally. I'm just trying to, I think I remember when I had a one-on-one with my wife, I said, we just need to make more money. There's no strategy beyond that. Let's just make more money. Everything will be fine. But yes, it's all about adjusting to the new normal, adjusting to the new economy we have in Nigeria, expenses and all. And definitely we are expecting it to not go higher than what we have now. The goal is to have it stable, have a stable economy for this year. And maybe from there next year it might tail down, go down a little bit, but most likely just going to be on this level. This will be our new average level going forward. So that's what has been financially for everyone, including myself. So those are the major things we've seen in the end so far this year.
So what would you advise? Because I heard you say that you told your wife that the aim thing is just to make more revenue, make more money. So what would you advise? Because the topic is very unsettling. It's a
Yeah.
topic that nobody wants to pick on, but is there. So what would you advise? Because definitely that's a very huge one for every family needs, how to make more money. So nothing is. So what we advise like the public, because a lot of people viewing this on YouTube on all social spaces, what would you advise people right now, especially we young ones, we young adults that were pushed into this adulthood? What would you advise?
Okay. All right. So I'll look at it from two angles, right? yes, for some to make an extra might not be visible, but it's all about maintaining what you're making. That's for some. That's a simple straight
Hmm.
answer. So for some of us who are still doing, we're in the 9 to 5 lifestyle, our goal is to maintain, try as much as possible, which is like opposite what we're discussing today. But honestly, the goal is to try and maintain that income stream. And then if you have the
Hmm.
opportunity to take a part of your savings, it may not be as much as what you're saving before, and look for something viable, something viable. Sometimes, a lot of people talk about buying and selling and seeing it as, look, I can't do buying and selling. But the honest truth is that you don't need to be the one doing the whole activity. Sometimes you can
Right.
just
Yeah.
partner with someone who does it on a day-to-day, and then the person helps you with the stocks, sell, you get your profit, get your share. And that's a way of having an extra income. So yeah,
Right.
there are with different ways to try and much as possible to make. But if you know you can't make an extra, the goal is to maintain what you're making and reduce, try and cut down on your costs if as much as possible, or try and look at it and say, what, yeah, will it be a case of my savings being lesser than what it is? What's going to be at what cost? What's the average cost I can maintain my lifestyle day to day? Are there some things that I've been doing before? Normally you might just have some blue money back in the days, but now maybe that blue money will reduce and you just stick to the needful. You stick to your breakfast and lunch,
Right.
dinner, exactly. So that's a way to look at it. And for folks in business, a mentor make me understand said it is when there is economic hardship that businesses are expected to thrive if you know what you're doing, because the goal of business is to solve solutions, right? And if you're
Hmm.
CEO, if you're a business owner, you're selling a product or you're selling a service, people will need you now much more than they did in the past, because there is a
Right.
problem out there. There is a financial problem out there. There is a spending problem out there. For some people, it's all about how to, move from one point to the other. And that's where you come in. That's where you offer your service, and you don't offer it for free. You offer it at a price, and then from there you're able to
Right.
make more. And so businesses who know what they are doing ends up thriving during economic hardship, and because they've been able to be resilient during that economic hardship time, it makes it easy for them when the economy begins to change. They have
Mhm.
astronomical growth because they have a whole of the market.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's really, really deep and very, very insightful. I'm very grateful for that. So I'm going to go back to a 9 to 5, maybe
Yes.
not a business owner or an entrepreneur or something in that line. But 9 to 5 that is maybe earning 150. What percentage? Because you really, really kicked on savings as well, budgeting.
Yes.
In times when this I sometimes that can be like the headway or the push out to
Mhm.
aid or make it a better landing for people, a stable landing, let's call it that way. So, what percentage would you advise a 9 to 5 bar that is earning 150K? What percentage of their earnings would you advise them to save?
Okay, so normally we would say do a 70, do a 50, 30, 20. So we're saying 50% of your expenses, of your money should go to your basic needs, 30% to meet investment needs, and maybe 20% for savings. So if I want to go by percentage, yes, 20% works. But also if you're very conversant with what you spend, you can literally have an idea of saying, you know what, I'm going to let's take for example, let's use the 150K now. If you know that yes, in a month I spend 100,000 for transport and feeding, it tells you literally, it just tells you need to keep set aside 50,000. You need to be disciplined, because
Hmm.
that's where the problem comes in.
Hmm.
I need to set in that 50,000. It's small, it may not be much, but guess what? One plus one is two. Two plus two is not three, it's four. Four plus four is not five, it's eight. So the little amount you're saving, when you begin to add it up, it becomes that big amount that you are looking for. So a lot of 9 to 5 are always trying to say, oh, we're going to save when the money is big. But first and foremost, you actually need to cultivate the habit. So it's not really about the amount you're saving, it's about the habit. And like I said, 20% is not bad. If you look at your day-to-day expenses and what you can save is a 10% saving, what you're trying to do is to build the habit at this point. And when you can build the habits, you can have that discipline of there's an amount of money I don't touch. There's an amount of money that I don't use for. It's purely my savings. It sits maybe you can literally open any money market fund if you don't want to save in the bank because of the interest, just want to get something good. Or some people use piggyvest and the rest. I don't want to call names of business, but people use different platforms to save their money. But the goal is that this amount of money per month is untouchable. It doesn't attend to my needs, it doesn't attend to my expenses, and it doesn't even attend to my unforeseen. It's there, it's stacked away. It begins to tell you there are certain requests that will come from places, and you have to learn how to say no. So that's the discipline there. The discipline helps you to say, this is what I can spend. Anything beyond this, I can't do it. It's a no. I can't, do a Friday spending. It may not work. So that's the goal. The goal is to have 20% maximum, but you can always, if you can do more, do more. If you can't do more, if what you can do is less, do less. But the goal is to have that habit of saving.
Okay, so there's another question. Just even came in recently so that's why we're asking you, sir. For someone that is in a crisis, because I know we all they always say accountants and people in the accounting space, they say I have emergency fund. I'm an emergency fund. And there's someone, it happened I think recently because he just even put it on one of my platforms. He lost his job. Um him and his fiance were supporting each other. The fiance got ill and the parents don't work and they are not on any retirement plan. Are still coming to the retirement plan though. And they're not on any retirement or anything at all. And now he's stuck because he lost his job. And the job was like the main joy to
Main
funding
source of
whatever
income.
everyone was doing. So, and both of them now, they do not have emergency fund, they don't have any savings. What's their lot? What when you get scenarios like that, how do you help? Because these people they boomerang, they come back and it's fine. Even if they come around, they're able to beg and whatever or however it plays out. There's a mental effect that and it comes back to health. Because I
Yeah.
know people are wondering how this whole thing it still comes back to health. The guy is stressed. Some people they have a lot of cardiac issue that are related to money stress,
Mm-hmm.
very big financial stress. So we're asking how for someone that is not there yet, right? How and what do they do to get emergency fund?
Okay, so let's even understand the concept of emergency fund. So emergency fund literally it's saying your 3, 4, 5 month savings, expenses, you have it saved somewhere. That's what an emergency fund is. So what does it mean? It
Hmm.
means that when you have any unforeseen contingencies, just like we said, the loss of a job, what you have a stash of cash somewhere that literally can keep you 5, 6 months. That's what an emergency fund really is. Many don't have it, right? Many don't really have the emergency fund. Many try to, but we understand the situations of things in the country. So what do you do? Honestly, let's even start from the mental aspect. One
Hmm.
thing Nigeria is one thing that is very, very easy to do is to start thinking in Nigeria
Hmm.
when you're in this kind of situation. And your mind goes a long way. Where you have mentally goes a long way on how you are going to pull out of any situation. So
Hmm.
I've seen people, sink into that depressive state just because
Right.
they lost their job and they are not just able to see a way out. Even when
Hmm.
colleagues and friends are giving them advice on what to do, how do you to do it, they are just in that situation at that moment and they are not just trying to get themselves out. So I'll go like I said, one of my mentors, I'll go what he says. When you lose your job, so just be thanking God. I'm a Christian, I have to go by it. He said, just be thanking God. He said, yes, it looks absurd, but it does a lot to your mental state. It makes you see clearly. that, okay, yes,
Right.
I'm in a spot where it's a little bit fixed up, but I don't want to be here for long, right?
Right.
It helps you channel that inner positivity that, okay, I can get out of this. I can do something to get something good out of what I'm doing. So what I would advise is that you at that point in time, just be positive with your mindset, be positive with the thoughts of your heart. That, look, you know what, I have a stop, I need to get another job, or I need to get something going to bring me money. So that's the mental aspect that must be dealt with. You can't slip into
Right.
your depression just because, you one for one reason or the other, you maybe there's a restructuring in your organization, you had to lose your job. Maybe there was an issue, they had to let you go. So you need to first and foremost deal with that mental aspect. You need to deal with that aspect. That mental aspect needs to be dealt with significantly. And once that is done, the second thing you need to do is to ask yourself, how can I come out of this? For the couple that you're
Hmm.
talking about, yes, at least one of them still has an engagement, one of them still has a job. And
Job.
yes, sometimes things like that might actually put a pause to so many activities they want to plan. Maybe they were planning to get married. Maybe they've been putting some money aside to get married. It might have to maybe change their plan. They might have to do a little bit of push forward. But that push forward shouldn't be long, because when you make it too long, you're telling yourself, I'm not coming out of this. But when you say, you know what, we're just going to move this for like 2, 3 months. And the goal is that I want to start applying for jobs. I want to start applying. Yeah, keep on doing that every day. So your day to day, which was your 9 to 5 before, was to wake up and go to work. Now you're doing the 9 to 5 for yourself. You're waking up, you're waking up to your
Hmm.
laptop, you're waking up to your phone, you're going out there, you're looking for vacancies, and you're telling yourself, I'm going to apply to a minimum of 5 vacancies per day, or a minimum of 4, or a minimum of 3. That's the mindset. That mindset is enough. Yes, I know it's not easy. I've seen people do
Hmm.
it for 6 months, and it's on the 6th month that they got their breakthrough. But along the line, they
Right.
tell you at some point, I just don't want to wake up. I just want to go back. I just want to sleep. I don't want to do this. I'm tired. I've been getting so many rejections. But if you don't do it, you can't come out of it. That's the funniest thing. If you don't do it, just like, if you don't do it, you won't get the result. So you need to do it. So for that young couple, I think the very first thing is to get, the young man needs to start applying. He needs to start pushing out his CV there. That chapter has closed. I used to say something. I used to say that it's a phase in life. That phase has come to an end. So you need to pick up a new phase, and picking up a new phase means that you need to close that chapter. Sorry, my baby girl is showing herself. So you need to
That's that.
close that chapter and start reapplying, start putting yourself out there. Now you are the CEO of yourself. You're the one that is employing yourself. You're not paying yourself any salary, but you're paying yourself you're paying yourself with an opportunity to get a job.
Right. Paying forward.
That's what you're
Yeah.
paying yourself with. And the goal
Yeah.
is that, okay,
Yeah.
see it like a businessman. I don't get my profit in the first month, but I'll get it in the fifth month. That's the mindset. And that mindset helps a lot
Paying.
to change the narrative. And I'm very sure if the lady in question who is in that relationship, if she can see the young man doing that, she's encouraged she's encouraged to understand the reason why there's that shift in timeline. And honestly, results come out. Yes, for the funds, like I said, you were working before, and I'll say with this. The many issues is that people don't save. Imagine if you had been saving, you could have been able to
Hmm.
have something during that time period. But also, if you have a pension, if you do, that's if you are in a company that you've been paying pension, there is a governmental relief that says that you can withdraw from your pension account once you are not without job, I think for the period of 5 to 6 months, and you can prove it, then you can make some withdrawals out of your pension fund to be able to help you with your day-to-day. All right. That's an option to get funds in when you've exhausted all you've saved up for.
Or
Yeah, that's an option to get some funding till you get that job. But the goal is, if you don't do anything, you will be where you were 5 months ago. And where was that place? I lost my job or lost an engagement. That's where you are going to be in 5 months' time, because you're not doing anything. But if you do something, then one way or the other, an opportunity is going to come out. You can't keep on knocking on doors and one won't open. One will definitely open. That one I can assure you. And
Right.
the second thing, the second bias, I think there's also another bias of okay, I can't do certain things during periods.
Kind of jobs, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like I said, you are
I'm
your
better than
CEO.
this. Yeah.
Like I said, you are your CEO. So within that
Hmm.
period that you're not working for anybody, whatever you are doing is for you. So as you're applying for an engagement, if you see opportunities to earn, it may not be as much as what you were earning before. It may look like, oh, I can't. Please do it. And it's one of the reasons why I like engaging folks who drive Bolt, Uber, and the rest. You know, sometimes I engage some of them and they tell you, look, I started this as I had an issue at the office. I had to let go. Sometimes some of them tell them they had to resign because the company itself wasn't doing well, so they had to resign. But as a means to earn a living before they could get another engagement, they started, they started doing to started boats on one of the a car hailing listen. They started it, and today it's even now 50-50. They do it on the weekends while they go for their job and they're all.
Right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's what so sometimes you just need to do something to get you going. Thank you.
Hmm. You're very welcome, sir. We are very, very, very thankful. And definitely this will need a part two because I don't even think we're able to answer all the questions yet.
Okay.
But time and what we have pending, we would need to end right now. But we know a party is coming. But I'm just going to ask this question to end the note, and you be the one closing for us, sir.
Okay.
What would you advise a young star in 17, 18? Because we realize that if a generation or the youngsters are a bit enlightened and independent in their mindsets, it helps them. It's
Yes.
like almost preparing them before they're even prepared.
Yeah.
What would you advise accountants or financiers or bodies to help or how do they integrate the youth, the young ones actually? I'm not even particular, but the teenagers to understand financial growth and freedom.
Okay. It's simple. It's what we call mentorship. Mm.
Right.
It's simple mentorship. And mentorship doesn't have to be something big. It could just be between two people, a body system between a teenager and someone who teenager and an adult, and it's the adult teaches them what to do. Sometimes they can be classes that teaches financial literacy, which I know goes on, and then a lot of them spend so much time on the internet, use
Right.
the internet very well, and thank God to AI. You can ask questions, and AI will give you some ideas. You now go take those ideas and do a deeper dive, do your own little research. So the time you spent on TikTok, which is maybe an hour, imagine spending that 1 hour to just get some level of financial literacy. Fantastic. You're much more better off than your friends for that day. So those are the at least two major points I can call out for how to get the young ones going. One is a body system, an adult or young teen, a body system which can be organized within a church, within a group of people, within a community. And the two is to, teach the young ones how to utilize their time, especially online. Those things go a long way.
That we will definitely be having a part two. We are honored and we'll let you know, sir. Brown Essence is honored to have you. This has been an insightful, uh, well broken down, detailed explanation on
Thank you.
things to call for and things to know. I'm very, very grateful, sir, personally. And we know it would bring in a lot of questions to have to fire back because we don't know so much why we are bringing it to your table, sir. Thank you
Thank,
so much, sir.
thank you too. Thank you
And I,
for having me. It's a pleasure.
yes, thank
Thank
you.
you very
You're
much.
blessed. Thank you.
And you too. Thank you, everyone.
Have a, yes.
Bye.
Thank you.